has a blown head gasket. It overheats like crazy.
Honestly, we need a new engine.
And what a better engine than a Hayabusa.
Here we have two vehicles. One built by Suzuki, the other with an engine built by Suzuki. Both of them are a 1.3 liter inline 4-cylinder engine. This one makes about 63 horsepower when it was brand new on a good day. That one makes 180 plus horsepower stock. Not to mention, this Hayabusa engine revs to 11,000 RPM. That's twice as high as that. And when it's all combined, we're gonna have 60 gears to choose from. So you combine 60 gears and twice the RPM range, it'll go really, really, really fast. Or really, really, really slow.
We have already done a Hayabusa swap into this little red car, but unfortunately, we rolled it and you can't get parts for this thing anymore. So we are just over this project and it is incredibly dangerous. So we think it's time to put this amazing engine into something a lot cooler.
3, 2, 1, go!
Well, it looked to me like the only reason Edwin got him is for traction purposes. That solo car is way faster than it should be.
Thing actually launches pretty hard in 4 low.
Well, I guess that's what you'll have when you have 4-wheel drive versus 1. Uphill in loose dirt.
Time to put it out of its misery.
Try to cook off that tire before we start. Valiant effort anyway. You wonder why I can't hear? Luckily, this whole rear subframe here, that should basically just drop right out of the back of this solo car. I just gotta disconnect everything first, get all the wiring and plumbing removed, and then yank this Hayabusa engine out of here.
It's a shame Chris just left.
Now this is something those belong on. You know what's funny is it's kind of the perfect size and shape. Hello, tiny babies.
Whoa, they're like twice as big already. In
Yeah,
like 4 days.
It's funny, they're like super varying in size. Like, look at the difference between these two. Because they hatched like a week apart.
Whoa, look how big their bills are already.
I know, but look how tiny this little guy is.
Yeah, like 4 days ago it was like
I know.
a third that size.
They're growing fast. This guy's still small enough to be a little pocket duck. You'll be comfy once you're in the pocket, I promise.
So what's the biggest one in there?
What are you naming it?
Cluck Norris?
Cluck Norris? Dude, it's not a chicken. They don't cluck.
Duck Norris?
Duck Norris, that's much better.
Duck Norris.
Duck Norris. I think we had like 34 of them or something, the baby ducks. Kylie sold 6 of them to somebody already. We also can't really figure out why there's white ones, the yellow ones.
Yeah.
Because none of the ducks that they came from are white.
Some custody battles in these guys' future.
It actually fits on that better than anything else they've been on. That's great, I like it. You know, it's the first thing that they've been on that they didn't actually make it uglier. Because it's not possible to make that thing uglier. Aha, look at that. Anybody need a weird shaped wheelbarrow?
End of an era for this thing.
Wasn't much of an era to begin with, to be honest. So I got pretty much everything disconnected from this up top. Basically just the transmission bolts. I even have the engine mount bolts already taken out. So I basically just have the mount bolts that attach it to the transmission, and then the engine will be ready to come out. But first, I'm gonna put it up on the lift so I can get to anything from the bottom, like for example, remove this header because it's in the way of the engine coming out. So get a nice look at the underside of this thing. That's really a well-mounted exhaust. I mean, granted, it's not bolted to the engine, but still. Man, that is a tiny little transmission.
Everything in here is kind of miniature.
Look how small this transmission is. It's so tiny. Sparky, move!
He kind of has no sense of danger.
Not at all. A friend is borrowing our normal engine hoist, so I brought the all-terrain engine hoist.
So what are we gonna put this one in next, Ethan?
Nothing. We're gonna list it for sale on Marketplace, real cheap. And if no one buys it, it's going straight to scrap. But you know, at least get. I mean, it still runs. It needs a head gasket, but I don't know. Hey, maybe somebody wants parts for their Samurai. Despite the fact that Chris and Edwin both wanted to drain the oil out of it and put a brick on the gas pedal and see how long it took to blow up. I'm gonna weigh it real quick because I'm curious. Quite the teeny tiny little engine. Well, what's the verdict?
0 pounds.
0? What? I just replaced the batteries!
Sparky, don't go under that.
Alright. How much does the engine weigh? I'd say 180 pounds or so. Now we can get a number.
Your guess was pretty close.
Wow. That was a very solid guess. That's my best one yet. I was off by 2 pounds. It's 178. Alright, well, let's get all the piles of random crap off of this engine and we can compare. It's actually not much heavier. 197 pounds.
I was gonna guess 205 just based off your posture and facial expression.
You were closer. It's 210 pounds currently. What'd you say?
205.
Very close. It takes measuring to find out exactly how it's gonna fit. Yeah, not gonna work super well. I decided I should strip down this engine a little bit before trying to mount it. So I'm gonna pull the exhaust off because no matter what we do, it's not gonna be able to be in the same specific orientation that the exhaust is in now. Might as well remove it and then rebuild it. Figure I might as well wash some of the crustaceans and massive quantities of tire rubber.
I wonder what the rubber came from.
One of the great mysteries of the universe, man. Figure I might as well clean this thing up a little bit before we put it in the Samurai. And also clean the Samurai up a little bit before we put this in there.
I've been wanting to do this ever since Ethan's first reaction.
That really is some of your finest work, Steven. I think you should have just put it right over the license plate.
We can lower it.
Like, so that the license plate is dead center in the mouth.
Use the skid steer again?
I don't really want to. It's kind of a pain. It's in the way. I was thinking about maybe...
Oh, just hang it off the lift somehow?
Yeah. With that chain hoist we have, that crossbeam isn't designed to hold much weight, but it's a 200-pound engine.
Well, what if you just use these somehow?
Oh yeah, that's actually even better. It's a Suzuki heart transplant. We have a 40-year-old with a bad heart. We're putting the heart from a 20-year-old in it.
I guarantee you he rolls in tomorrow and has
no idea about the lips, huh?
Yeah. Well, just think. He's gonna get to the house, have dinner, come out of the house after dark, drive here in the morning. Man, if only there's a good way to take wagers on how many hours it takes them to realize.
I know, I wish we could have sent a camera, but we'd have to have it recording for possibly multiple days.
And that'd be highly suspicious if we just had a camera strapped to the front of his truck.
So it's definitely not going to be able to be direct drive with a straight drive shaft. One way it could be done is a drive shaft from here straight back and then attach like a sprocket here and a chain. That'd be a really short chain, and short chains at high velocity don't work very well. They tend to get cooked. Possibly, if I can get the angle right, we might be able to do like a drive shaft with CV joints. Yeah, that might be the way to go. It's just a little stubby CV axle. Because look, transmission isn't really confined to where it mounts, because the back end is just a drive shaft to the transfer case. So
It
if
has
that,
quite a bit of play, actually.
yeah, if that moved there, this kind of changed angle a little bit and came up a little bit. I have a plan for the drive shaft. I messed around with the angle of the engine a lot, and I came up with something that I think is going to work. So I took the inside out of the clutch for the Samurai, because those are the splines I need for that. I'm going to use that to make an adapter. I'm going to use these Volkswagen style CVs that I have. I'll just make an adapter plate, welds to this. This will just be the splines, and then it'll have that 6-bolt pattern. So I can bolt that on one end, and I have only a very short axle, so they don't take up a lot of space, and they can also handle quite a bit of angle. So that's the plan for the transmission end, and then basically same thing for the Hayabusa end, except I'm gonna use a sprocket, or the splines and a sprocket. But
If you think about it, it's kind of like a one-sided hexagon.
yeah, once. Or, Steven, is it a 365-sided hexagon?
Oh no. Or is it infinite-sided?
It's infinite-sided, yes. I thought I had that center hole pre-drilled enough. Not quite. I'm using this 1-inch roughing end mill to bore this out, because it's just the largest thing I have. Look at that, it's a little pocket duck. I'm gonna steal it. Oh, I got ducks in my pockets. Look at this little guy, just chilling in there. Hello. Hello, pocket duck.
You're like a kangaroo, Ethan.
Yes. So all of the actual cutters I have are too big, but this is called a fly cutter, and it's adjustable. So we can do it with that. I don't want to squash the pocket duck.
Baby. All right, let's go back.
You can enter to win all of this and more for free, because we have partnered with Whatnot. Get a Nintendo Switch, this sweet little knife from Blue Spade Forge, you get these AirPods 4, and what we're about to buy on Whatnot right now.
We're gonna add this 1/2-ounce silver coin, this PSA 10 Charizard. Whatnot has so many different categories: sports cards, toys, Legos, Funko Pops, shoes, coins, and so much more. Whatever we hit here, we're gonna add to the giveaway too. There it is, nice. So to enter to win all of this, plus everything you just saw us buy, if you sign up for Whatnot using our link, this QR code, you will get $15 free. Then all you need to do is spend any or all of that $15 and you will get entered to win this plus everything you just saw us buy. And no matter what, you get that 15 free bucks. You guys have to try it out. Whatnot could be a huge sponsor for us. We got to make this one hit. So thanks for checking out Whatnot. I like the live chat while you're bidding format. It's very, very cool. And I know you guys want a new Switch, a knife, and some AirPods. There are live candy shows where they put candy in boxes.
Big cup, and we're running, guys, and Let's keep it.
Hey, look at that.
What?
We won all that candy.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got enough Reese's to last a lifetime.
Wow, look at this. There's something for everybody on Whatnot, including me.
Yeah, that's not doing anything. When all else fails, bust out the step drill. So, it's currently just a little bit snug. The bolt pattern is perfection. So I want to turn down this edge round anyway from where I cut off the outside of it. So while I'm doing that, I'll just make this little step here just a skosh smaller so it actually fits in the hole that I made. A little bit of a press fit, so to speak, and you're ready to weld. I'm going to cut a little bit of a taper onto the face of it so that the CV has some more room to move around. Bada boom. That's pretty cool, I wouldn't just say. Look at that. Went out to my pile of random axles and found a Volkswagen one here, complete with relatively intact CV boots. Got this end, got that. That'll have plenty of angle. Now, I just need to make the other one, and then we can take this axle and shorten it. It's not the strongest thing ever, but should be fine in this case. That's big enough to get the socket in there, which means it's more than big enough for the nut, and that I'll weld around there. That's just to space it out so that there's room for the nut to go onto the output shaft to hold this on. And the reason I didn't just, do that to start with is because it's just not accurate enough for this kind of thing when it's determining the center and whatnot, but in this case, all it needs to be is an equal thickness, which obviously it is. I need to figure out how I'm going to attach. I mean, obviously I'm just going to weld it just like I did the other one, but I need to figure out what I'm going to do to keep it perfectly concentric because it doesn't have any flanges. Maybe what I could do is see if I can find a piece of stock that'll fit perfectly through the center of it. There we go. That is precisely the right diameter for that. So that's perfect. All I gotta do is make the hole in the blank the same size. I have to turn down the outside because the teeth will run into where the bolts go for the CV. So this shaft that happened to be the right diameter, I just stuck it in there and then ran the tailstock into it to jam that up against the chuck, and it seems to be working.
I'm heading out for the day and I just watched Chris go to his truck, staring at the ground, walked right by the lips yet again. It's like day 3 now. That's too funny.
It's a sprocket with no teeth. It's a toothless sprocket. Got both my adapters made. Something I didn't realize is that those splines from the clutch plate are not very tight, so I'm gonna need to find a way to affix that a little bit more. That much wobble is gonna be a problem at high RPM. I threw this just random chunk of stock in there. Obviously, the splines on it are not accurate, but it gives me a decent idea of angle without having to cut and splice the axle yet. But I was sitting here and I had an idea. If I take a chunk out of the bell housing over here, I might be able to get it close enough that I don't actually need the axle and boots. Because the problem is, right here, the boots are too long. Like, I won't even be able to get the CV boots on there. And I still don't have room for the radiator. So yeah, I'm just kind of thinking maybe if I can finagle everything just a little bit. Yeah, see? Like, that's obviously a little bit odd on the angle there, but then if I just take a little bit off the edge of the bell housing here, I mean, really, it might even just be this top edge that needs to be removed. Then I can possibly get the engine right up to it, and then we have tons of room for the radiator. It's like right there is where I really want the engine to sit. Right there. But that doesn't work well for the drive shaft, because that's as far over as the transmission can come this way. And that's a very steep angle for those CVs to be at. Got these crusty old CV boots here, and I'm doing a test to see if I can kind of overlap and splice them together. Yeah, I feel like that actually seals pretty well. That's an option. Boot problem solved. Well, we long ago passed the point of no return for this thing just, you know, not being a normal Samurai, so time to lop chunks off the transmission bell housing. You go ahead and make the stubby axle. I think it needs to be about this long. I was using this piece of stock in there just now when I was fitting it. I'm gonna cut the axle a bit longer than that, and that way I can turn down one side and then drill a hole in the other and make them nest together. Thing's got a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Make a hole in that one.
So I see you beveled it for weld.
Yep. And then this one will kind of do the same thing. I'll bevel it and then bore a hole in it. You want a moldy squash? There you go. Have some moldy squash. These new geese are hilarious. Also, did Chris notice the lips on his truck yet?
No, I don't think so.
Wow. You notice anything different about your truck yet?
Yeah.
You notice the lips?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I saw him the day you put them on.
Well,
Oh, you
no,
haven't
we just,
said
you know, you
anything,
didn't
so-
say anything, so
Oh.
just had to check. You never know. You could have just been getting in the truck and not looking at it yet.
No, I left them on there.
Is that just a quart of yogurt for breakfast, Chris?
Yeah.
Time to weld this together, so I turned it down so that it's a very snug fit, one inside of the other, and I'm just gonna weld that seam. There's a chance that that won't hold the power, but I think it'll be fine. I think there's weaker points in the system than that. Just go ahead and weld it up in the lathe here. It's nice and straight, and the lathe will help keep it that way. That is welded. Nice and strong. World's shortest CV.
Yeah, it is. It's like there's actually bigger CVs in some RC trucks.
You could make it shorter though still. There's still another, a couple inches you could reduce. Not really though, because then at that point it wouldn't actually be able, it wouldn't be a CV, it'd just be a coupling, because it wouldn't be able to flex. Get this cleaned up a little bit, assemble it here on the bench, and then I can just put the whole thing in. And then finally, build some engine mounts. This thing's ridiculously satisfying now that it's all assembled. Also, it can handle like a ridiculous amount of angle for how stubby it is. I don't know why this is so satisfying, but I really like it. Check it out. We have a drive shaft. A very stubby drive shaft.
Sounds like it'll do the trick.
It will. So now I can mount the engine, because no matter where I put the engine with that drive shaft attached, it'll work. I'll probably swing it over this way a little bit, just so it can have clearance on this side, not be running straight into the frame. And then once I get the engine mounted, then I can move the transmission around so it's got clearance and mount it, which also I noticed the transmission mount at the back is completely cooked. Something I kind of forgot about here is this cover has to go back on to some capacity because it has the clutch actuator. So there's literally no way to get this to work with how I've designed that. It's just physically way too large. I'm just gonna put this aside for the moment and make the engine mounts, but when I do, this is the rod right here that has to be pushed in to disengage the clutch. So if I shorten that up a little bit and I make a little lever arm, kind of like this, that has a pivot point down below and then gets pulled on by the clutch up here. If this little lever arm had a nice divot in it that this could sit in, and if the angle was right, it would pull and disengage the clutch. So that's probably what I'll end up doing. I was originally thinking of not using this bottom engine mount, just because there's plenty of other ones. And then I started thinking about this engine needs to be able to come out of here, and if all the engine mounts come in from the top, like these ones here, then the engine mount structure needs to be removable so the engine can come out. This one here is gonna be super easy. Actually, I probably should just start with that one, because I can just bolt it on right here where the original Samurai motor mount went. Got my engine mount plate here with the Samurai's first hexagons! So that's just gonna go right there so that this first engine mount is removable. Rather simple. Couple of little side plates there. No hexagons in those because they actually need to be kind of rigid. So I got that first motor mount all, well, halfway at least welded up, and the engine's, you know, almost free to set on its own. So you can't see under there because it's dark and, you know, there's an engine in the way, but this is gonna go on one of those bottom mounts, just a tube with a big washer welded to it, and then I can weld any and all tubes to this tube. My favorite way to make mounts. It's clean, it's obscenely strong, and it's quite simple. Motor mounts galore over here. This next one I'm working on is gonna be in multiple parts, so I made a few of these. It's just a big thick washer welded to a tube. One of them's already bolted to the back of the engine here, and then this one, this little bracket here, which is just a really simple one made out of a piece of square tube with a nut welded inside of it. This will bolt to that so that the whole motor mount is removable onto the inside of the frame somewhere down here. And that mount will have a tube going up to here, and then I can also attach a few things to the transmission, so it'll be like a multi-purpose one. Check it out. This is basically the same thing I've been doing with all of these, except it's got a nut welded in there. So I just have to notch them together. It'll notch like kind of halfway through this tube and then weld it in there, and then that's one of the transmission mounts done too. Now, while I have it out of there, go ahead and weld up the rest of it. I couldn't reach. Look at that. Transmission now wants to stay in place. Just trimming off the excess tube here. Weight reduction. I think that engine and transmission mount came out pretty nice. So I was thinking about finishing up all of the mounts first, but then I decided that that's boring. No, actually what I decided is that I should at least get a rough idea of the exhaust, the header, before I do any more motor mounts, because that way I can make sure to work around it. Yes, we'll just put this upside down, straight out the hood. Hey, finished. Actually, that would be kind of hilarious, but that's not what I'm going for. It is pretty funny that it actually just fits on there upside down. I went digging through my random exhaust tubing bin. This is all I could find that's the right size. I might be able to use these flanges on some of these, but on some of them I definitely won't, so I tracked down, that's a piece of 1 3/4 tubing, and that'll fit over the outside of that and be the same type of thing. So I'm gonna throw that in the lathe and just cut off a few little slices of it, nice and straight like. Fresh flange. I've got 3 of the 4 header tubes mocked up here and ending in roughly the same spot. My plan is to basically build the 4 tubes, get them to a spot where they can merge, and then the ones that are made out of a bunch of pieces. This one is a whole singular piece, and so is this one. These are actually just original ones rearranged. The idea is before I weld them together, I'll take them out and weld the seams, because otherwise I won't be able to reach them in the tight corners. Once I have that done, then I can tack the whole thing to itself so it stays in the same shape, and then I can take it off and do the merge on the bench, and then keep going from there. We're gonna go on a mission to find more tube. Solo car roll cage. That's 1.5 inch tubing. Probably too thick of a wall. Ooh, look at this. Whoa, that is some seriously thin wall. Also, that's probably titanium. Too small. This is a steering column out of this Willys Jeep, but I think it might be perfect. Nice. So I already got one of the tubes for the headers welded up. One of them doesn't need to be welded because it's all one piece already. And this one just needs this previously a crossover tube hole welded shut. But this one needs all of its seams welded and a little bit of fine tuning with a hammer. So we'll do that real quick. And meanwhile, Andrew, inventor of the Arc Droid, is here.
We're going to put the new 10-inch system on his Arc Droid. This is the Arc Droid Plus, so much bigger, much more power, new features, all the cool stuff.
And shinier.
Oh yeah, much shinier.
You know what it's missing though is hexagons.
Ah, but it has hexagons built in. You can do hexagons.
You can do hexagons, but it doesn't. It needs like.
Oh, okay. I'll make you one. Come on, dude. Yeah, we can do a backing plate with the nice little hexagons or grind hard.
Yeah.
We can actually rate grind hard, and this does text now.
There you
so
go.
you got features that you don't have in the old one. But we're going to put it on literally the most used Arc Droid on the planet. If you get a close-up of that thing, it's been through the ringer.
It's been loved.
I'm pretty sure Ethan's got more time on the Arc Droid than I do, and I invented the thing. So.
We do a lot of things that have never been done before around here, but this is definitely one of them. Never used a 1962 Jeep Willys steering column as part of a header for a Hayabusa engine in a Suzuki Samurai. Just another Wednesday around here.
So this is one of your files. Obviously, it has a lot of hexagons in it. And if let's say you were doing this and it stopped halfway through because the torch cut out or something like that, you don't have to go back through it anymore. You actually can hit this button and then scroll through, and you can.
Ooh.
So now that moves the starting point over to whichever, and you can scroll back.
That's extremely
So now you don't
handy.
have to recut those again.
Yeah. I've spent hours of my life doing that.
Run from here.
Yeah.
Yep.
I distinctly remember, like, a couple of years ago, I texted you and I was like, hey, if you're ever doing software updates, this would be really handy.
As per your request. It's just we needed the bigger, more processing power to be able to do it easily.
Right.
Theoretically,
The new
save us
screen is
hours.
so nice, too. The resolution and the glossiness and everything.
Well, when you're getting old like me and you need glasses, it's kind of important.
Yeah. I mean, that all comes for us eventually, but I, so far, have lucked out with extremely good vision.
It's coming for you.
No, it's
too.
coming for everybody. I know that,
I
but...
still have my hair, man.
Yeah. Not so much.
You use your tools to make tools for your tools, right? And this has a regular, monitor mount pattern on the back, 100 mil spacing pattern on the back, and he hangs his screen here. So I've made a little bracket that will cut 4 little holes and have a little hook for hanging on the wall. So use the tool to make the tool for the tool. I decided to do it in Simple Trace rather than on the computer. Like both Ethan and I are pretty conversant with Fusion and do most of our design that way. But I actually did it here on the screen so that I could prove that it'll do it. And yeah, so we're going to turn it on and see what happens. Ah, I missed the puddle.
Man, you hang out with us for like 2 hours and you're already doing Ethan things.
I was doing Ethan things before Ethan was doing Ethan things. Hold that on the back there, and that'll give a nice little hook.
Behold, a header. It actually kind of looks like a proper header for being just cobbled together out of spare parts of other headers.
I would say it looks like you know what you're doing.
This part right here, that's a steering column from a Willys Jeep. So the merge point here is just kind of roughly what I could get because, you know, it was down underneath the vehicle. So I might cut this 4-piece merge off of there and use that. I'm not sure.
Put 4 little lawnmower mufflers on it.
Oh no. I do actually want it to sound decent, not atrocious. Cut some of those back to a similar plane and then figure out how I'm going to merge them all together.
One step closer to brop, brop, brop.
Exactly. Or in this case,
Oh my god, I'm gonna die! Powder coating hides a lot of sins. So, you know, put a nice thick layer of plastic on it and nobody can tell you did a bad job, right? A grinder and paint makes me the welder I ain't. And today we are going to do it in Ferrari wheel white.
Y'all. Yeah. Glue it on. Done.
Soon to be collecting all the dust.
For being cobbled together out of part Hayabusa header, part random scraps of tubing, part steering column, and part Samurai header, it turned out pretty dang official looking, to be honest. Oh, come on. It is
A little bit of a coffee table puzzle.
I think it has warped, despite my anti-warp things. Kristen wasn't here yesterday, so he almost snoozed and losed, but we saved him one of the pastries that Andrew brought.
Canadian butter tarts. It's one of the only cuisines we have that we can claim as our own. Butter tarts and poutine.
I was gonna say, you got poutine.
Yeah.
A little harder to bring that on an airplane, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised they survived, to be honest.
Wow, wait till you get to the bottom of it. You just barely scratched the surface. I got all the extra bits that I don't need off of the clutch cable here. The idea is, basically, it's gonna go kind of over this way, and then there'll be a big lever arm with a pivot at the bottom. It'll probably actually go all the way down to the engine mount underneath, the engine mount bar. And the idea there is that that'll push on the clutch actuator, pin, rod, whatever you want to call that. And the cable will pull very near the top of that, and the pivot will be way down at the bottom. So we're effectively giving it like very minimal leverage, which is good because that clutch was designed to be actuated with 2 fingers. And now you're gonna have a whole foot. The less leverage we can give it, the more controllable it'll be, because it'll give us a wider range of where the clutch is engaging. If this is the pivot, like so, and here's the actuator pin, if we put the pulling portion anywhere up here, we have either 1-to-1 or greater. So up here, 1 inch of pull would equal less than 1 inch of pull here, meaning, you know, you'd have more leverage. But if we mount the cable down here, we could do the opposite. And down here, 1 inch of pull would be like, you know, if it was in the middle here, 1 inch here would be 2 inches up here, which is more than we need. So, you know, we'll mess around with that and get the right ratio. But man, you cooked that one good. Hey, you know, that's a great piece of like 16 gauge stock for cutting stuff out of. In fact, given that these are just for the clutch, I could have used that. I'm gonna use this Heim joint because it's used, but it's in okay shape. It has a hollow back end, so the rod that pushes the clutch will fit into that end, and this will bolt on to the side of this, and then that way when you pull on the clutch, or, you know, push on it, whatever, however you want to look at it, this can pivot up and down so that it's a nice linear push, and also it'll keep that rod contained so that it can't slip off the side or anything. And then this is just a piece of sleeve that I'm gonna weld in there, and then that'll bolt there. Excessive, but again, it's just a simple, easy way to do it. That hole there is where the cable goes through, right at the top. A little bit of bracketry and whatnot. We'll have ourselves a clutch. Little tiny tab. Very thick for its size. For no other reason than that's the scrap I have. Actually, no, it also needs to be quite rigid because it's holding the clutch, but probably not that rigid.
It's almost a hexagon.
Just like that. I test fitted it, fits perfect. Weld it together here real quick. Behold, the beefiest little teeny tiny bracket ever. Final piece of the clutch puzzle here. This is just an M10 bolt that will thread into that Heim joint that I used, right? This is the clutch push rod. So I'm boring this out to fit this in there. So right now it's all sloppy inside of that Heim joint. Now it'll just right in there. Hopefully I didn't booger up those threads too bad. Check it out. We got bracket, holds the cable right in the right spot. Hey Chris, you want to come operate the clutch for a second? Show the people? Yeah. Check it out. Push it all the way to the floor. Is that the floor? Yeah. All right, let it off. Yeah, do it again. Yeah. The next most important thing is the shifter for the Hayabusa. Thinking I'll use this push-pull cable here. What I'm making here is a little tab. Actually, it's a set of tabs that lock together like that to hold the shift cable. I think this blade is actually the perfect thickness for the slot in the cable housing. So, might as well, right? Now that I look at this, only this part needed to be thin. I might recut that out of some thicker steel. That's thinner than I thought it was. I'll use some 1/8 inch. So we have these two pieces. They bolt together like that, or like that, doesn't actually matter. So this one fits over the outside of the housing, and then this one fits into that slot. And then when you bolt them together, it can't come apart. And then that welds to that tube there. We've got ourselves a shift cable mount. It's gonna need a little brace to keep it from bending, but I'm gonna get it made first and then brace it. I got a bucket of ducks. They're just temporarily in this bucket so they can stay warm here by the fire while Kylie cleans out their pen. Isn't that about the cutest bucket of stuff you've ever seen? Look at this. Look at that. This dude's like 4 times the size and he was born maybe a week earlier. Here, little dude, you should sit on top of everybody else. You're the small one. Yeah, there's another little... Well, this one's not nearly as small, but it's pretty cute. Oh, calm down, calm down.
I better get to work on my 40 chain necklaces.
This is a really cute one right here with the little necklace and little wingtips.
You should name one of them Tape.
This one's tape. Duct tape. This chungus right here, this is Duck Norris. Look at that guy. That's definitely a Duck Norris if I've ever seen one. I made a little shifter bushing setup here for the pivot on the shifter. It's just 2 pieces of tube that nest pretty much perfectly. One of them a fraction of, well, maybe like 0.5 millimeter or so longer, so that when you tighten this bolt up, put a little bit of grease in there, that'll last forever. Here's the shift rod, and I'm actually gonna bring it up inside here through the 4-wheel drive shifter boot. So I still have to make the bracket that holds it underneath, but basically, I'm gonna put this pivot as close to the floor as possible here, and then this will attach onto it just a smidgen from that, so we have as much leverage as possible, and then I'll make, the shift lever will just be welded directly to this outer tube, which is why I made it this way. They actually calmed down considerably when I came over here. Did you notice that? Look at that, now they're totally quiet. They're like, ah yes, Mother Duck is here. This one's even trying to eat my hand. There's nothing you can eat here, dude. The bucket of ducks. Time to put them back in their little pen. Sparky, these are not snacks. Wow, ducks, look at all this fresh straw you got here. Bucket of ducks.
No. Sorry, little dudes.
They got buried. I didn't realize there was straw on the bottom. There's actually no reason whatsoever for there to be a hole in the center, but you know, weight reduction. And that whole bracket I made on the Arc Droid. I didn't even use the computer. Wow. It just so happens this is 7/8 of an inch. That's what we need right there. This thing has a little like quick release ball sort of socket thing. So I just need to make a little doodad for that goes on the end of a, or that is the end of a bolt. There we go. Look at that. Choo, 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 choo. I don't know if you're going to believe this, but the Samurai radiator is just going to completely fit. Even with its original brackets. Look at that.
Oh, wow. Well, that's easy.
There's no room for a fan, but I can put the fan on the front of it and have it be a push fan. Or I can put like a couple of tiny fans, electric fans here. A couple of really small ones. Even just a couple little fans to keep it cool at low speed. And it should be good to go. Time to go meet the giveaway winner for lunch. And then give him his brand new to him supercharged Raptor.
You probably haven't really driven it since we got it home, huh?
I haven't. Been too busy working on other stuff.
Good memories, though. This is by far the best thing we ever bought. I'm 100% convinced of that now.
So Dalton is the winner of our Raptor, and Elijah's never seen one of our videos.
Leaving it all
He's
for
been
friends.
waiting for
Nice!
Oh, wow.
So everything he sees today, he's never seen before. I don't think this has ever happened.
Behold, your new ride. brand new wheels and tires with like 20 miles on them.
Oh yeah.
It really is easy on the ears. They don't make them like this anymore.
No, they don't.
He was telling me on the way up, this is his dream truck.
Oh,
It's not
really?
just a nice truck that he won. Like, this is what he was dreaming about.
I wouldn't have done anything different.
Although apparently Elijah's not impressed because it's Ford. So we'll have to show him the Humvee.
I didn't say anything.
Whoa! That don't wake you up in the morning, ain't nothing will.
What do you think so far?
Everything I hoped for and more. Wow, he just got in there and was like, I'm just gonna send it.
So everything y'all just built is just loud and obnoxious.
Basically. Crazy. Pure crazy. Videos never do these things
No.
justice.
And this is the slow one compared to
Yeah.
the one in the shop.
Show you the damage we did to that Barbie Jeep.
I landed about here, and Edwin was parked right where Steven's standing. And I couldn't see anything until I was in the air.
No!
Yeah, it's sad.
The end of an era.
It's not the end.
Just a pause.
It's a
It's
pause.
like a new beginning, really.
Time for a makeover.
A new seat for sure.
Yep.
Okay, wait. Were you sitting on it when it became that?
I don't know.
What happened? Like, why? Okay, when did this happen?
The superfluous details, right?
You know what? They're avoiding me so much.
This is all on him. Don't
Oh,
put
you're
this
so
on me.
avoidant right now. You're both hiding something.
I'm fine. Look at me. See? Look at me.
Tell me a story.
Oh, I just took a little damage on Friday.
You took a little. So you were sitting in there?
Yeah, a little bit.
You'll just have to watch the video and find out. Woo, yeah! Woo!
We gotta put a new carb on this thing before Gambler, man. It goes so hard.
We gotta get the dreamboat going for Gambler too.
I know.
Not bad, huh?
You learn real quick to keep your mouth closed.
Friend Traumatizer 9000.
That thing is insane.
Chris is always asking me why the drone is so dirty. I didn't even crash it.
Oh my god!
That's just
you
from me
sticking.
following
It looks like you took it mud bogging.
I know, I basically just did. I can't believe it stayed flying after some of those chunks I got hit with.
Wow.
I just want to live here.
And if you enter to win this K-Truck, you also have the chance to come out here and rally with us, spend the whole day just shenaniganing. Spend a whole day of shenaniganery here at the property, and then take this beautiful little machine home with you.
So much nicer than ours, it's not even funny.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, this thing is so clean, and it's from 1990. This thing is exactly as old as me. It has 25,000 kilometers, which is like 13,000 miles. Not only is this thing just a beautiful little machine, it's four-wheel drive, super capable. I mean, the bed is significantly bigger than most modern trucks. And that bed will come filled with an Arc Droid and a whole bunch of other tools. So if you don't have the capacity to build stuff yet, you could get it by winning this truck. For all the details, head over to grindhardplumbingco.com. Every dollar you spend gets you an entry to win that truck and come hang out with us for a day.
Premium hats. The hats are so nice.
Keep your head from getting sunburned, if you know what I mean. We even have a Shop Goose shirt. Shop Goose lives on forever in the merch. So today might be the day that we finally test drive this thing. I've got the oil cooler all plumbed, bolted in, correction. The oil lines are bolted into the block, so that's good. And then I have the top bolt done. I just need to do the bottom bolt. This stock Hayabusa radiator hose worked out just perfectly. From the engine to the radiator there, it's like almost exactly the same shape as the original situation. We're goat sitting for Kylie's mom.
Is it having a baby right now?
It might be.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, what are the odds of that? Does she need help or do they just do
I
it?
don't know. I don't think so. I don't think they need help. I don't want to help.
Neither do I.
Kylie!
I am entirely uninterested in
Your
helping.
goat is having a baby!
Here she comes. Einstein, you're about to witness the miracle of life. Hey, what are you doing?
Edwin, if you step away from the fence, he'll be fine. He thinks you're gonna die because he got zapped by this fence.
Oh.
And he's not, like, look at him. He's running away scared right now. But he was
Yeah.
convinced you were gonna die. Bjorn! Come here, buddy!
I was like, Bjorn never does that to me. What's
No.
going on?
He thought you were gonna die. He's not okay with it. He's like, dude, that fence will kill you. You better get away from there.
Wow.
Well, I've got it up in the air on the lift. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up some welds. I got welds on my shifter linkage bracket to do. I've got some welds on this engine mount up here that I didn't get to before. So just a few little welds here and there. You can see this motor mount here that comes from the driver's side. I think I'll just do the opposite for the front half of that up to there. And then I think the engine will be plenty solidly mounted.
Almost done. It's getting exciting. Probably the most drivable thing we've ever done with the Hayabusa by a landslide. So one day I came here and the geese that I knew were gone.
We traded geese. These ones are much louder, but more importantly, they're nice to the ducks. The problem is the geese were beating up the ducks, so we couldn't have that. We traded with my mother-in-law. She had these 3 African geese who are extremely loud, but they're also nice to the ducks. He's like, look at me, I'm a scary cobra chicken, I'm gonna get you. I gotta make a quick bung for this temperature sensor and weld that into the Samurai radiator. This came out of the Hayabusa radiator. I could cut the chunk out of there, but it's honestly probably easier to make it, and then the Hayabusa radiator is theoretically usable for something else. Behold, the bung hole. And it's got a taper on the inside here for the O-ring to seat on. So it should seal very nicely. Now I just gotta weld it on. We are moments away from our first test, but I wanted to show you guys something. You know how I was talking about gauges earlier? And you know how for our first start, we're not gonna, we'll just have it all wherever. But look, this is where the gauges are gonna be. You'll totally be able to read the gauges from in the cab. They'll just sit right there. Just zip tie that in there. Bada bing, bada boom, you got a tachometer.
Boom.
Which is more than you can say for the original Samurai. Just a few more wires to hook up, and I think we're about ready for a test start. Look at him go. Oh, he
It's a
almost made
boy.
it.
Let's see it, buddy. First steps. Here we go. Here we go. You got it. You got it, buddy.
He's almost there.
I mean, that's a pretty advanced yoga pose right there. That's like a downward dog plank. You can do it, buddy.
Imagine being able to walk 10 minutes after you're born.
Yeah. Here we go, buddy. You got it. Oh,
legs.
3.
Use a tripod.
Here he goes. Oh. We're on all 4. Let's see it, buddy. Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. I had no idea they figured it out that quick. The fuel pump turned on when we switched it to on.
Fire in the hole.
You ready?
Yep.
Hey!
All right, try again. Probably just a lot of air in the fuel.
Oh yeah! That sound coming from this little truck is hilarious.
No Samurai ever sounded like that before.
Let's go. I'm so ready. Oh, as if driving this thing with no horsepower was fun enough, man.
Oh yeah.
If you started a wheelie on this thing, you might end up being in a bad situation.
That means you gave it too many beans on a very steep obstacle in Moab.
And with the lack of roll cage, I don't think it would do so.
Come on, it's got a factory roll bar. You don't trust that with your life?
Not with my life.
Wow. That fired right up. First gear is nice and slow.
Well, it's leaking a whole lot of something.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it's fuel. Yep, that's fuel. It's pouring. Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's
So,
fuel.
but that's fuel from the Samurai tank. So I just need to block those off.
Oh, but for some other reason it's not working.
Correct.
Ah. We do have quite the history on this channel of swapping out a perfectly good engine, but the second it enters the new machine, for magical reasons, she just doesn't want to go. Makes a lot of noise.
So I think when it tips downhill, we'll test my theory right now, but
Could it be barely any fuel in that tank, or did you add more?
it's not running out of fuel, it's shutting off.
Oh, okay.
It's shutting itself down for some reason. So conveniently, this is a very solid state. Tip over sensor, not solid state. Analog, that's the word I'm looking for. So we can just take the cover off and see how it works. So I had it mounted, well, like this, but assuming that it was either up or down like that, but it's not. You see the way it works, that little donut on there?
Yeah, it's supposed to go like that.
If it's in this orientation, that donut is always going to want to be at the bottom, and you'd have to get to a really extreme angle before it hits those contacts. If that's the case, shouldn't unplugging it just work? If it's here,
It's not making contact.
right, but it doesn't contact until this is touching both this hoop and that.
Yeah, so you'd think unplugged would be fine.
You would think. That means it's normally open. I mean, we'll
Well,
do
that's
a quick
an easy
test.
theory to test, yeah.
Yeah, I do love simple safety devices like this, though.
Yeah.
A lot of newer bikes, it's like this fancy circuitry where you can't trick it, you know? Okay, yeah. So I just wasn't contacting. Flip it that way? Yeah. I mean, we can do a double test now by starting up the engine.
Okay. That's not the result I expected.
There might be some sort of resistor in there. Here,
Obviously
hold
somebody's
that.
tried that before.
Yep.
Wait, hang on. Turn it off and on again. Wait, turn it off, unplug the sensor.
Oh, yeah, good call.
We messed with it while it was on.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, 5-minute JB weld and we'll have this problem solved forever. See, now that will hold that little brass donut in place for the rest of time. I'm pretty sure that'll be in that position unless we throw it away or crush it or somebody else does. I think that'll be there longer than humans exist.
That's the glorious sound of a straight pipe Hayabusa, all right. It's always a good sign when he turns to go on the rally track and not turns to go back into the garage.
Well, that didn't take long.
Uh-oh. Back to the drawing board, I think.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Kind of figured it would do something catastrophic and violent sooner or later. But you know, this is why you gotta test things. It just blew up the bell housing.
Holy.
Oh, there we go. Okay, here we go. Here's the frames. So it's fine, it's fine. It's clearly starting to wobble. It's very not fine. Oh, that is mayhem. Wow. That didn't take long.
No, it did not.
They don't call me Captain Carnage for nothing.
No, sir.
You know what's funny though? Is it didn't actually do any permanent damage. Really? As far as functionally. Like, I'd have to make new transmission mounts because the ones I had are gone. But fundamentally, we don't need the bell housing. We just need a way to rigidly mount the transmission.
We found out.
That was one of our shortest test drives ever. Well, Operation Sambusa was both a success and a failure. Well, make sure you subscribe and stay tuned because we're gonna order up some parts, rethink this a little bit, and take this thing on a proper overland adventure. But in the meantime, if you want a little miniature 4x4 that's not destroyed and is absolutely amazing, we're giving away a 1990 Honda Acti K-Truck full of tools. So head over to grindhardplumbingco.com. Every dollar you spend gets you an entry to win.
There's one piece.
Pieces of boot everywhere.
We're probably about to start getting to pieces of bell housing, I imagine.
Yeah, I wonder if any pieces actually fell
Oh,
out.
there you go.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yep, there's one.
Oh, that's thin as heck, dude.